Every baseball fan loves a good comeback. Those games where your team looks dead and buried, and they come back to life and win in dramatic fashion. Today, let's look at every team's biggest comeback, ranked from least crazy to most crazy. This is based on deficit first, then based on how late in the game they were down by that margin, and the last tiebreaker is how high scoring the game was. Number 30, Arizona Diamondbacks, down 4 runs in the 6th, April 4th against the Padres. Zach Gallen had seen better days, giving up 5 after 6, and Yu Darvish was dealing, giving up just 1 run over 5. Down 5-1, Arizona started getting to Nabil Crismatt, Perdomo getting a 2-out 2-run double, Josh Rojas driving him in, and this was a 1-run game. In the 8th, Luis Garcia came in and Arizona sent 8 men to the plate, rallying for 4 runs, capped off with a double steal that saw Josh Rojas steal home. Arizona wins 8-6. Number 29, San Francisco Giants, down 4 runs in the 7th, September 13th against the Guardians. Kyle Harrison started and got knocked around, giving up 4 in the first, 1 in the second, and then there was 4 innings of scoreless ball. The Giants down 5-1 in the 7th. Enyel De Los Santos came in, got a double play, but Thairo Estrada and Wilmer Flores got back-to-back hits, getting the Giants within 3. Then Eli Morgan comes into the 8th, puts the first 2 guys on, and J.D. Davis hits a game-tying 3-run bomb. This would go into extras, Lamont Wayne winning the game with a sac fly, 6-5. Number 28, Oakland A's, down 4 runs in the 7th, May 16th against the Diamondbacks. The A's had a 3-2 lead in the 5th, but Emmanuel Rivera and Lourdes Gurriel plated 4 runs in a flash, and they got 2 more in the 7th, putting the A's down 8-4. Kevin Ginkel came on for a second inning of work, and after getting the first 2 outs, he gave up 2 singles, an error on the third baseman. Ryan Nelson came in, and Ryan Noda hit a grand slam. This would be scoreless until the 12th, Ruiz singling in the walk-off run. A's win 9-8. Number 27, Baltimore Orioles, down 4 runs in the 7th, May 24th against the Yankees. Already down 2-1, Isaiah Kiner-Falefa and Gleyber Torres went yard in the 5th, putting the O's down by 4. Nestor Cortez took a gem into the 7th, but that's where it all fell apart. He walked a guy, gave up a single, and Adam Frazier cut the lead to 1 with a 3-run homer. Jimmy Cordero came on, gave up 2 hits, and then Gunnar Henderson flipped the score with a double. Albert Abreu tried to put out the fire but failed. The Orioles rallied for 3 more, finishing off an 8-run inning, winning this one 9-6. Number 26, Cleveland Guardians, down 4 runs in the 8th, May 13th against the Angels. Already up 4-2 in the 8th, Zach Neto took Eli Morgan yard, giving the Angels a 6-2 lead. Andrew Wantz came back for the 8th, got the first guy out, and then gave up 4 straight singles. 2 runs scored, and he was pulled for Ryan Tepera. Josh Naylor came up and flipped the scoreboard, launching a 3-run homer. Andres Jimenez followed, capping a 6-run inning, and the Guardians finished this one off 8-6. Number 25, Seattle Mariners, down 5 runs in the 3rd, July 2nd against the Rays. Luis Castillo was not sharp, Arozarena getting him in the 1st, Isaac Paredes in the 2nd, rallying for 4 more in the 3rd, and the Mariners were down 6-1. They got those runs right back, scoring 4 off Taj Bradley, doubles from Ty France and Jared Kelenic, Mike Ford driving in 2, and at the end of 3, it was 6-5. Tom Murphy tied it with a homer in the 6th, and the winning run came in the 7th, an RBI pinch hit by Jose Caballero. Mariners win 7-6. Number 24, St. Louis Cardinals, down 5 runs in the 3rd, June 19th against the Nationals. Jack Flaherty put his team behind the 8 ball, giving up 3 in the 1st, 2 in the 2nd. The Cards down 5-0 after 2. Facing Josiah Gray, the offense started chipping away. Paul DeJong scoring on Edmonds' triple, Goldschmidt driving him in, cutting the lead to 3. Then, they did more damage in the 5th, getting 4 straight hits, capped off by a 3-run homer by Brendan Donovan. Then, Goldschmidt comes up for back-to-back jacks. That gave them a 6-5 lead, and they'd add 2 more in the 7th off Carl Edwards, winning this one 8-6. Number 23, San Diego Padres, down 5 runs in the 4th, September 11th against the Dodgers. Pedro Avila did not have it, giving up 7 runs in 3 innings. Mookie Betts hit a leadoff homer to start the scoring, and then a 3-run double to make the score 7-2. The Padres were down, but had 6 innings left to come back, and Manny Machado led off the 4th with a home run, hitting another in the 6th. That drew the Padres back to within 1, and once Caleb Ferguson came on for Gavin Stone, Matthew Batten drove in the tying run. It would remain tied until the 9th, but Evan Phillips came in, 2 batters reached on an error, and Juan Soto busted the tie with a 3-run homer, Xander Bogaerts following with one of his own. The Padres winning this one 11-8. Number 22, Detroit Tigers, down 5 runs in the 5th, April 15th against the Giants. Michael Lorenzen started, but gave up a 2 spot in the first 3 innings, down 6-1 all the way to the bottom of the 5th. The Tigers rallied off Anthony DeSclafani, the key hit being a Zach McKinstry double, and down 6-3 in the 8th, They rallied again off John Brebbia and Sean Nigelli, Javier Baez getting a key double to spark the rally. The game was tied, and in the 11th, Miguel Cabrera walked it off. Tigers win 7-6. Number 21, Chicago White Sox, down 5 runs in the 5th, July 7th against the Cardinals. Dylan Cease gave up 2 in the 2nd, 3 in the 3rd, and the Sox were down 5-0. Jordan Montgomery held them scoreless into the 5th, but that's when Jake Burger took him out for a solo shot. Jojo Romero came in, and he and Andre Palante had a miserable 6, the Sox sparking a huge rally. Jake Burger and Zach Remillard getting back-to-back 2-run hits, that 5 spot putting the Sox ahead 6-5. Arenado put the Cards back ahead in the 7th, but Luis Robert got that right back. Zach Remillard getting a go-ahead RBI walk that proved to be the difference. White Sox win 8-7. Number 20, Los Angeles Dodgers, down 5 runs in the 5th, April 25th against the Pirates. It was a rough one for Noah Syndergaard, giving up 7 runs over 4 innings, the death blow being Andrew McCutchen's 3-run homer. Freddie Freeman got one back in the 5th, Michael Busch got another in the 6th, Austin Barnes drove in another with a sac fly, and the Dodgers were only down 2 runs in the 8th. Colin Holderman came in, the Dodgers got 2 on, and Chris Taylor drilled a 3-run homer. That proved to be the difference. Dodgers win 8-7. Number 19, New York Mets, down 5 runs in the 5th, May 19th against the Guardians. Carlos Carrasco put him in a 5-0 hole after 5 innings, and that's when the Mets offense started getting to Cal Quantrill. Francisco Alvarez started it, Jeff McNeil added on. The next inning, Brett Beatty led off with a homer, and just like that, it was a 5-3 game. Then, Josh Naylor drives in 2, Mets back down 4, but Pete Alonso came up in the 7th and hit a game-tying grand slam. This one went into extras, and despite Gabriel Arias hitting a 2-run homer, the Mets launched a 2-out rally against Emmanuel Clase, Lindor capping the 3-run rally, and the Mets win 10-9. Number 18, Colorado Rockies, down 5 runs in the 5th, May 17th against the Reds. It didn't look good for the Rockies after Stuart Fairchild's 2-run ground rule double, giving the Reds a 5-0 lead after 5, but the Rockies would explode against Graham Ashcraft. 5 straight reached base, Jurickson Profar and Elias Diaz getting 2 RBI hits, and the game was tied. The next inning, they continued abusing the Reds pitching. Nobody had any answers. Brenton Doyle driving in 2 with a triple, Chris Bryant driving in 2 with a single, and suddenly the Rockies had plated 11 runs. They won 11-6. Number 17, Philadelphia Phillies, down 5 runs in the 6th, May 24th against the Diamondbacks. Ranger Suarez gave up a 2-run double and a 2-run homer in the 3rd, and the Phils were down 5-0. In the bottom of the 6th, with 2 on and 2 out, Alec Bohm and Brandon Marsh got back-to-back hits and 3 runs scored. The score would remain 5-3 into the 9th. Jose Ruiz pitching, and Trey Turner hit a 2-out, 2-run homer, pushing the game to extras. That's where Alec Bohm walked it off. Phillies won 6-5. Number 16, Minnesota Twins, down 5 runs in the 6th, August 27th against the Rangers. When Jonah Heim hit a grand slam off Bailey Ober, that put the Twins down 5-0. That would last until the 6th, when Royce Lewis got that right back, a grand slam off Chris Stratton. They were still down a run, and in the 9th, Donovan Solano drove in the tying run off Aroldis Chapman. In the 12th, they traded runs, but the Twins walked it off in the 13th. Michael A. Taylor drawing a walk-off walk. Twins win 7-6. Number 15, Houston Astros, down 5 runs in the 8th, May 17th against the Cubs. Ty France gave up 3 in the 1st and 2 more in the 3rd. Seiya Suzuki hitting 2 home runs, Morel adding 1 more in the 4th, and the Astros were down 6-1. That would be the deficit all the way until the 8th, when they rallied off Mark Leiter Jr. for 2 runs, cutting it to 6-3 going to the 9th. Jake Myers hit a 2-run homer off Keegan Thompson, and the Cubs brought in Brandon Hughes to save it, but Kyle Tucker lined in the game-winning hit, driving in 2. The Astros win 7-6. Number 14, Milwaukee Brewers, down 6 runs in the 3rd, July 3rd against the Cubs. Julio Teheran had a clean first, but the next 2 innings were a mess. Milwaukee down 6 runs after 3. In the bottom of that inning, the offense rallied to get 3 back, but would be scoreless until the 7th. That's when Jahmai Jones hit a 3-run shot off Anthony Kay, tying the game at 6, and Willie Adames and Owen Miller got the Mark Leiter in the 8th, overtaking the lead. The Brewers scored 8 unanswered and won 8-6. Number 13, Boston Red Sox, down 6 runs in the 3rd, April 1st against the Orioles. Chris Sale had no fun, getting rocked in the first 3 innings. Cedric Mullins' 3-run homer putting the Orioles up 7-1. Not discouraged, the Red Sox came right back and got 2-run homers from Alex Verdugo and Adam Duvall, down by just 2. The Orioles got 1 more, and the Red Sox were down 8-5 in the 7th. Kike Hernandez led off with a homer, Duvall drove in another, cutting it to just 1. Then, the Orioles had a chance to win the game, but Ryan McKenna dropped a fly ball, and Adam Duvall made him pay. He hit a 2-run walk-off bomb off Felix Bautista, the Red Sox winning 9-8. Number 12, Texas Rangers, down 6 in the third, June 18th against the Blue Jays. John Gray didn't get through 3 innings, giving up 6 runs. The comeback started in the bottom of that inning, a 2-out rally off Chris Bassett capped by a Josh Young 2-run single. Seager and Garcia drove in 3 runs in the fourth, and once they got Bassett out, they abused Nate Pearson. Jonah Heim going yard and the Rangers getting 2 more runs, scoring 8 unanswered. Leody Taveras would add a 2-run homer in the 8th. Seager drove in 1 more and the Rangers won it 11-7. Number 11, Tampa Bay Rays, down 6 runs in the 5th, May 7th against the Yankees. Over the first 5 innings, the Yankees tacked on 6 runs against Josh Fleming, and Garrett Cole was untouchable. Jose Siri got the party started in the 5th. They got another to pull within 4, but Cole fell apart in the 6th. He put the first 3 runners on, and Christian Bethancourt knocked him out of the game with a 3-run homer. That tied the game, and Jose Siri scored the go-ahead run from second on a groundout to the pitcher. The Yankees pulled even in the 7th. The game was tied into extras, and Isaac Paredes walked it off. Rays win 8-7. Number 10, New York Yankees, down 6 runs in the 5th, May 13th against the Rays. Same teams, same scenario, just flipped. Yandy Diaz hit a grand slam off Nestor Cortez, the big blow and the Rays taking a 6-0 lead in the 5th. In the bottom of that frame, the Yankees offense got to work. 2-run home runs from Kyle Higashioka and Aaron Judge, and they continued their onslaught in the 6th, scoring 5 more runs. Judge going yard again, and Oswaldo Cabrera driving in 2 more. The Rays tried to come back but fell short, the Yankees scoring 9 unanswered runs and winning 9-8. Number 9, Atlanta Braves, down 6 runs in the 6th, September 26th against the Cubs. Over the first 6 innings, the Cubs got to Bryce Elder and Jackson Stevens, up 6-0 with Justin Steele on the mound. Kevin Pillar led off the 6th with a home run. Olsen and Azuna drove in 2 more, and just like that, the lead was cut in half. Acuna got 2 more back in the 7th, launching a 2-run homer. With 2 outs in the 8th, Sean Murphy came up against Drew Smyly, popping an easy fly ball to right, but Seiya Suzuki missed it. That flipped the scoreboard, 2 runs came across, and that was it. The Braves won 7-6. Number 8, Miami Marlins, down 6 runs in the 6th, August 13th against the Yankees. The Yankees offense was on fire that day, knocking out Yuri Perez. Ben Rortvedt going yard off Huascar Brazaban, taking a 7-1 lead in the 6th. Garrett Cole had it working, giving 1 back in the 6th, but leaving the game up 7-2. Brian De La Cruz got another run back in the 8th, but the Marlins were still down 4 going to the 9th. Clay Holmes got himself in trouble, and then crushed his own cause by throwing the ball away, 2 runs scoring, then giving up a triple to Luis Ariz to tie the game. Tommy Kahnle came in, and Jake Berger walked it off. Marlins win 8-7. Number 7, Toronto Blue Jays, down 6 runs in the 6th, April 9th against the Angels. Yusei Kikuchi gave up 3 in the 1st. Shohei got him for 2 more in the 3rd, Ohapi in the 4th. And just like that, the Jays were down 6-0 and Reed Detmers was rolling in the 6th. That's when Matt Chapman hit a grand slam. Detmers gets pulled, and Andrew Wantz comes in and gives up a 2-run triple to Kevin Kiermaier. The game was tied, and they rallied for 4 more in the 7th. The Angels scored 4 runs to tie, but in the 10th, Kevin Kiermaier and George Springer came through in the clutch. The Jays win 12-11. Number 6, Cincinnati Reds, down 6 runs in the 7th, April 25th against the Rangers. Luke Weaver went 6 and gave up 6. Martin Perez dominant through 6, but he lost it in the 7th. He gave up 3 hits in a row, gave up a run, and got pulled. In the 8th, Cole Reagans and Ian Kennedy gave it all up. The Reds rallying for 5 hits, doing most of their damage with 2 outs. Jonathan India drove in the tying and go-ahead runs, and the Reds won 7-6. Number 5, Washington Nationals, down 6 runs in the 7th, August 13th against the A's. They were already down 5-1 when Seth Brown got a 2-out 2-run single off Andres Machado, giving the A's a 7-1 lead. The Nats got 1 back on a Stone Garrett sac fly, but still went into the 9th down 7-2. Trevor May came in, walked a batter, and gave up 3 singles, a sac fly, a walk, and he was pulled for Kirby Snead. The A's were still up by 3 runs, but the bases were loaded. Dom Smith walks, another run scores. Alex Call hits a hot shot to short. Nick Allen boots it, and the game is tied. Then, Jeter Downs walks it off. The Nationals win 8-7. Number 4, Kansas City Royals, down 6 in the 7th, June 17th against the Angels. When Shohei Ohtani went yard off Taylor Clark in the 7th, that made it 8-2. It looked bad, but the Royals rallied off Colton Ingram, getting 1 across. Jacob Webb comes in, and Bobby Witt knocks in 2 more. The Royals now only down 3. In the 8th, it was Witt once again, driving in 2 more in a 3-run inning, and the game is now tied. Mike Trout gave the Angels a lead, but Chris Davinsky could not hold it. Michael Garcia drove in the tying run, and Samad Taylor scored the walk-off hit. The Royals win 10-9. Number 3. Los Angeles Angels, down 6 runs in the 7th, July 15th against the Astros. Going into the 7th, it was only 4-3, but there's Chris Davinsky once again giving up 5 runs in the frame, capped off by a Jose Abreu 3-run homer. The Angels came up down 9-3. Framber Valdez still in the game, but he was knocked out by a Zach Neto 2-run homer. Ryan Stanek allowed 3 of the 4 batters he faced to get on, and Brian Abreu was called in to face Mike Moustakas, and he made him pay. A game-tying 3-run homer. The Astros then scored 3 more runs in the next 2 innings, but Ohtani and Renfroe came up big in the 9th, tying the game, and in the 10th, Taylor Ward hit an easy double play ball, but Greg Kessinger threw it away and the Angels walked it off, 13-12. Number 2, Chicago Cubs, down 7 runs in the 2nd, April 11th against the Mariners. Hayden Wesneski was terrible, the Mariners rallying for 7 runs over the first 2 innings, but the Cubs had a lot of time to come back. They got that going in the 2nd, Yan Gomes getting them on the board. Then they launched a big rally in the 3rd, Trey Mancini getting a 2-run homer, and the big blow was Nelson Velasquez and his grand slam, knocking out Chris Flexen, part of an 8-run inning and a 9-7 Cubs lead. The wind was blowing out to center at 13 miles an hour, so the Cubs did not slow down, tacking on 5 more runs in the 5th and 6th, and they won this one in a blowout, 14-9. Number 1, Pittsburgh Pirates, down 9 runs in the 4th, September 23rd against the Reds. Bailey Falter got knocked around, giving up 3 in the 1st, 5 in the 2nd, and he was pulled, but the Reds got 1 more in the 3rd. It was 9-0 before Alfonso Rivas drew first blood in the 4th, and in the 6th, they made a bigger dent, a 5-run inning, punctuated by a Brian Reynolds 3-run homer. Down just 3, Alfonso Rivas came up in the 7th. Bases loaded, nobody out, and he cleared the bases. The game was tied. The offensive onslaught continued to the 8th. Another big rally, 4-run scoring off closer Alexis Diaz. Ji Hwan Bae capping it with a 2-run double. The Pirates scored 13 unanswered runs, and the Reds got 3 back, but it wasn't enough. Pirates win 13-12. That's a wrap on this video. Let me know if you have any thoughts or memories on these games in the comments below. Before you go, if you can drop a like, I'd appreciate it. And if you're new here and love baseball content, please give me a sub. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all next time.